Hi amigos. About 2 weeks ago, I posted a video about a young man in Utah who's 13 years old, and he was shot by police when his mom called for help. So last night on the news, the police cam video of the shooting incident was released. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go through and watch it and just react to it. I'm guessing this is probably going to be very difficult material to watch. So just a quick word of warning, the video will be playing up here and I am going to give you my honest thoughts about it. You've been warned.
Get on the ground!
This was the violent result after Linden Cameron's mother called police to request help for her 13-year-old son who has autism.
Hey, show me your hands! Show me your hands! I don't feel good. Show me your hands!
The officer fired 11 shots. Bullets tore through Linden's shoulder, both ankles, intestines, and bladder, but he survived.
Come on, Mom, I love him.
He was running away. He was running away.
His mother, Golda Barton, had called 911.
All right, so that was hard to watch. So my heart definitely goes out, to Linden's mom. I mean, just to watch that and see, any human being being chased down like that and, being shot at so many times. I mean, just watching that is hard and just thinking, that's a young person with autism and that could be my son with autism who would be much more threatening to the police. My son is 250 pounds and 6'3", and this was like a little squirt of a kid. So that's really scary too. Like the gunshots, there were so many of them. I couldn't even, count them, but there must have been at least 5 to 7 of them. And then he does fall to the ground and it's blurred out a little bit. And they keep telling him to show, so he's laying on the ground and they're asking him to show him his hands. And he kind of rolls over away from them and says, "I don't feel very good." It's a small person and you can definitely tell from his voice, it's a young person. If they found, this little guy to be a threat, a big guy like, my son would definitely be seen as a threat. But my son is just a gentle giant. So this is, and, might in a situation like this where he was scared, just turn and run and not follow the directions, not have, just the wherewithal to be like, oh, I need to stop and I need to do what I'm told just out of fear, just to run and let the adrenaline take over. So that's really scary. And again, for this poor mother to have to, watch this after she called for help and to see this play out like this, my heart just goes out to her. And it is a very horrific video. And I feel terrible that she has probably seen this on the news and she has to watch this. And I know for me, like that image is burned in my head after just watching it once. I can't imagine what it's like for her to have seen this video and hear his voice. And he actually says something. So he says he doesn't feel good and he says, "Tell my mom I love her." Like that's just, my gosh, like heartbreaking. So my heart goes out to that mom. And again, I just think as parents, we need to rally around each other and, find ways to support each other. And again, we've got to be able to do things better. And I'm not, again, criticizing, the police. They have a tough job. And, I can't imagine what it's like to be a police officer, right now when you think somebody has a weapon. But this is just a tragedy on every angle. It's a tragedy for, the police officers and their family that were involved. It's a tragedy for the family. It's a tragedy for the Utah and the city this boy's from. It's a tragedy for the whole autism and disability community. So, and I don't want to be critical of the police and tell people how to do their job. And I don't know, what it's like to be a police officer and all the stuff they see day in and day out, and their lives are on the line, especially right now. Police officers are just getting shot for being police officers. But if they knew it was a young boy with autism, could they have just, let him run? Did he have to be pursued? Were they, I know like they say police officers always use deadly force. Gosh, there are just a lot of gunshots. And again, if the mother called the police to help de-escalate the situation, to chase him down a dark street, doesn't seem, it just kind of seems to be amping up the situation. So I'm so happy that he's, in the hospital and he's doing well. Again, I do think this really highlights, as parents, that we need to, make sure our first responders are trained. We need to make sure that that people with autism, know how to say that, I have autism. We work with a young woman at littlestar, and she has a lot of allergies, and you can ask her, what are your allergies? And she'll tell you. And, maybe that's something that all parents and all people who work with people with disabilities, if they're verbal, we need to really teach them how to self-identify, in front of police officers, like I have autism, or I have a disability, or whatever, or, I have a mental illness, or I have schizophrenia or something, just so the police officers, know to treat this person with a little bit of care. So the video is really hard to watch. I'm sure they're doing an investigation. Hindsight's 2020, and I think there are probably, so many things that could have been done better in this situation. Again, just, thank goodness that Linden is doing well, and they think he'll, recover. He probably has a long road ahead of him. But I think this just highlights just a lot of room for improvement in our situation on how we, deal with people. And then, looking at the police officers, again, like they, probably just like a heightened state of, agitation and fear and adrenaline all the time. And so, that doesn't seem to, to mix well with, having to make split-second decisions. So this is just a tragedy all the way around. And I hope the police department can take a look at themselves and kind of figure out what they could have done better, how, we need to look as a society, what we can do better. And, I think we can all hope that this never happens again, but, when you hope, you're just hoping. So trying to think like, what can I do? I think, in my small town that I live in, I think I am gonna make an appointment and go and talk to the police chief and just say, hey, my child lives here and he has autism and he's really big, and just go and talk to him and just start a dialogue with him and maybe some of the police officers. I think that's something I can do in my town. And I also think that I need to sit down and talk to my son about this, knowing this is going to be upsetting for him, and he's already kind of afraid of the police that I've talked about in some of my other videos. But this might be something that I really need to talk to him about, and I really need to work with the team of people that works with Brad, his BCBAs and his RBTs, and just say, like really role play with Brad, that if a police officer tells him to do something, he needs to do it. He should not turn his back and run away. He needs to comply immediately, even if he's afraid. So, that's just a difficult conversation. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make a promise to myself and to you that I'm going to go and talk to my police department in the next couple weeks, and I will be back on another video and tell you how it went. And I think that's how we're all going to make change. We all have to pick up the phone. We all have to call somebody. We all have to talk to somebody. So call your police department, call your state representative, call your local representative. And it's pretty easy to contact your local representatives or even your U.S. representatives. You can go to your state website, and it's usually like your state. So Indiana, it's in.gov. So whatever your state initials, like I'm guessing for Minnesota, it's mn.gov. You can go there. They have all their contact information. You can write them a letter or write them an email. You know, just say, hey, I'm concerned about this. What can I do? Can we meet about this? Or just let them know that you are concerned. And if they get enough letters, they're going to start looking into it. Again, let's do something positive to make a change, because we can just hope that it doesn't happen again. But, you know, I can hope I have $1 million tomorrow, and I probably won't. If I want $1 million, I'm going to have to go out and work for it and do something. I can hope I lose 50 pounds, but I'm going to have to go out and work hard to lose that 50 pounds. I just can't hope it away. And I think this is one of those exact same things too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please keep them respectful, and kind of let's all chime in and see if we can come up with maybe some ideas of what we can do to make sure we're supporting parents, supporting the police, so things like this don't happen again and we, end up with a dead person with autism instead of an injured person with autism. Thanks so much for sitting through this with me. This is Life with the Side of Autism. Take care, and I'll see you on our next video.